Let's start with some breaking news that's coming in. This is the latest information coming in. The statement being issued by the Ministry of External Affairs. India demands the release of the IAF pilot in Pakistan custody, warns Pakistan against harming the pilot. The MEAs objects to Pakistan's releasing the video of the injured pilot, calls it a violation of international law. Essentially, what this statement means is that the video confirms that the Indian pilot is in fact in Pakistan's custody. Let's in fact go across to Tanvi Shukla, who's joining me at this point. Tanvi, this is extremely important because this essentially confirms what Pakistan has been saying since morning, that they have one pilot in their custody.
Well, actually, it also exposes Pakistan's lie, Avni, because earlier in the morning they were saying and in fact till afternoon when the Pakistani Prime Minister made the statement, he said 2 jets have been shot down and there are 2 pilots that they have. India had said earlier in its statement that we do know that 1 pilot is missing in his action and we are ascertaining further facts. But this is a very, very scathing press release from the MEA in the statement that India has released. We are, of course, now it's confirmed that that pilot is in Pakistan's custody, but India has strongly objected to the way Pakistan is releasing videos of this injured pilot. And India has highlighted the fact that this goes against international convention and even the Geneva Convention and any international humanitarian law, which, of course, Pakistan has never really followed any which ways. This is a detailed statement that also says that the acting High Commissioner of Pakistan was summoned by MEA to lodge a protest at the unprovoked act of aggression by Pakistan earlier in the morning. It then goes on to address the fact that it was clearly conveyed India reserves the right to take firm and decisive action to protect its national security and sovereignty. So while what we did yesterday was legitimate because we targeted a terror camp, what Pakistan did this morning was against all international conventions. Then it goes on to say that India also strongly objects to Pakistan's vulgar display of an injured personnel of the Indian Air Force in violation of all norms of international humanitarian law and Geneva Convention. It was made clear that Pakistan would be well advised to ensure that no harm comes to the Indian defense personnel in its custody. India also expects his immediate and safe return. So we are now demanding that our pilot be released from Pakistan's custody, and that no harm is actually done to him.
Yes, and Tanvi, now obviously the question arises as to what are the options and whether or not Pakistan is actually going to listen to this is obviously the big question. But what are the options in front of India to get back this pilot?
Yes, well, in the past we have seen there are examples, Afni, where Pakistan too has returned, soldiers that were in their custody. Of course, there are international laws that the countries are supposed to follow when it comes to prisoners of war. Now, this is not in a war situation. What India will do is take it up on a one-on-one level like we have already with Pakistan, which is why the Deputy High Commissioner was summoned in the afternoon by the Ministry of External Affairs, and of course also now launched diplomatic pressure on Pakistan from all our supporting countries to ensure that Pakistan does the right thing right away. Of course, if that doesn't work, then we always have the option of going to the International Court of Justice and invoking the Geneva Convention and the international laws that all democracies and countries are supposed to follow.
All right, thanks Anvi for getting us those details. Well, that's the latest and extremely important information that's coming in at this point in time, but we've got more breaking news. Let's go to that. All right, this is more breaking news that's coming in. The Mi-17 B-5 chopper of the Indian Air Force crashed. All 6 on board suffered fatal injuries. The court of inquiry has been ordered into this entire incident. This is the latest information. The IAF statement, in fact, on the Mi-17 crash that has come in. Remember, 1 civilian as well has been killed in this crash. Let's go across to Fareed joining us at this point in time on the phone line. Fareed, if you can take us through the details.
Well, yes, finally we have had an official confirmation from the IAF. They've come out with a statement wherein they have basically talked about how this incident happened. They're also talking about a court of inquiry. To add to that, the toll has mounted to 7, which includes 6 airmen, 6 IAF personnel, while one civilian has been killed. Now, as the debris were lifted, these dead bodies have been found. Initially, 3 dead bodies were recovered when we were there this morning. 2 were identified as pilots, though their bodies were charred beyond recognition. One civilian also caught up in this as this came down. He was there and he was trapped in this inferno. Now, as I said, the court of inquiry has been ordered. They look into what exactly went wrong, whether it was a technical error or pilots were at fault. So what exactly went wrong with this very tried and tested helicopter of the Indian Air Force Mi-17, which is in a way backbone as far as choppers are concerned, because it's not only for military purposes but also for civilian health rescue. And during calamities, this chopper has been used widely, and the very trusted chopper or helicopter of the Indian Force. So that's why it is more important to really get into the details, bottom of it, as to what really went wrong and how this fatal accident took place and claimed so many lives. Back to you.
All right, Fareed, stay with us. In fact, let's also get an update from you as far as cross-border shelling itself is concerned, which started last night. That continues, we understand, in borders like Poonch and Rajouri as well, in the wake of all the prevailing tension. In fact, government-private schools located up to 5 kilometers range from the LOC in Poonch district were closed as well. Fareed, if you can take us through what's the latest information on this?
Well, Avni, as far as line of control is concerned, we have been saying since morning that things or the tension has only escalated. Since yesterday, especially yesterday morning, ever since there was this surgical strike by the Indian Air Force on the camps across the border, or should I say in POK, these tensions escalated, and which was pretty much expected in the form of these ceasefire violations. Now, initially, or in the past some time, they were restricted to certain sectors, but yesterday it was all along the line of control. Every sector was affected, from machine gun to heavy mortars used, heavy fire traded between India and Pakistan armies. Now, the border residents are the first sufferers in this, and we've come to know that they have been told to remain alert and be ready for evacuation whenever the need be. Already, if you talk of schools in the 5-kilometer radius close to line of control, they have already been closed. If you talk of Poonch, Nowshera, Rajouri, even Uri on this side, or the Kashmir side, if I can call it, Kamalkot was the area which was affected by ceasefire violations yesterday. Intermittently, this firing and exchange of fire is continuing even as I speak to you. So clearly things are tense, they're on the edge. From here, it de-escalates, and especially people are living close to line of control.
All right. Thanks, Fareed, for getting us all those details. Well, that's a situation.